Well, without further ado, I don't know about you guys, but our
I'm bursting at the seams with ish. I have so much ish on my chest.
right,
It's overflowing.
right, our best session, our best segment we all love. Issue,
Yes.
yeah. So Ramona, take us there.
Okay, so we mentioned briefly like the fires that have been happening in LA. Obviously it's where a lot of Bravo Lebs live as well, right? We have OC, we have Beverly Hills, we have, all the other casts that have come through over the years. And so as far as the Bravo Lebs that have been affected, the Palisades fire, Bose lost her home.
Yeah,
But no, it was not
in
her.
Malibu, she lost it
Yeah,
in Malibu.
her Malibu residence. And I think it's kind of been a little gross, like all the people who were like, well, she's got two homes and she's got all this money. Like it's like, I don't know how you could ever like say to someone who loses their residence, and especially if it's like a dream home situation, that they shouldn't be bummed out about it because they're rich. Like that's still your memories. It's still, you still have your belongings there. But our hearts go out to Miss Bowes with that.
Yes, I know
And
she's
might I add, being rich in California is quite different than Minnesota. Okay.
Yes.
Having a couple $1 million out here, you may as well be poor.
Yeah,
very
pretty
true.
much.
Very, very true. All right, Miss Ramona, what else?
So, in other news, we found out today that Madison from Southern Charm is expecting a baby.
Yeah, it's a baby
Yes.
girl.
A
She did the
baby girl.
deal.
If you follow Southern Charm, you know that's something that ever since she found her dream man, that she has
He
talked
did.
about wanting to have a kid. And he's had like so many health difficulties.
Yeah.
And so it just kept seeming like, gosh, they were never going to get to start a family of their own. And so she announced and went public with the story in People magazine today. So we're super happy for her on that.
Yeah, definitely.
There's been many a week that we have not been able to put our opinions on these shows and what's been happening. So we thought, even though we're already at the reunion stage and we're going to go over the reunion for Potomac in a little bit, what were your final thoughts, you guys, on the season?
It's boring, like up and down, up and down. So it's really hard for me to like stay engaged. Like I'll give it, like I'll be in it for like a couple episodes and it gets so boring, then I forget about it. Then it's like it's on in the
Yes.
background. But I think overall, they did really, don't want to use the word exploit, but use Karen's DUI as a storyline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think when the season started
You mean
off,
Jacqueline.
yeah, Jacqueline, yes. When the season started off, I was like, oh, okay, they really are like from the Robin of it all. People didn't want to lose their job. So, I mean, I felt like they really got there quick and
Mm-hmm.
drag it out. It was like, oh no, first thing we're going, talk about it or don't come back kind of thing, I felt. So, I felt
She
like
will be
it was okay.
vindicated, honey.
And then we have, Mia, who she just took us on a ride.
A love and hip hop ride. Okay.
I was just going to say, I feel like she was on the wrong show.
Yes.
And was.
When they called her out the
Send her
reunion,
to Scrappy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
when they called her out from like Blazers to Fashion Nova, and Bravo
I
did
almost
like
died. Because when I tell you, this girl here, Christina, has always been like the Fashion Nova of it all with Mia.
make her stop. Because I just feel like, I'm gonna say this delicately. It's like your body type and height requires well-structured boning, hymns, designer
Yes.
to flatter you. Like this Fashion
Yes.
Nova spandex ain't it, girl. It ain't it.
Mm-mm.
It ain't, and it's
Structured clothing.
And it
yes.
accentuates a part of her BBL that's hard to appreciate.
It accentuates the features that she has that can be looked as like, oh my gosh, like, beautiful, or they make her really stand out. It's like they accentuate them in a bad way. It's like, wow, you really that tall in all that blue head to toe spandex. Wow, I didn't know spandex stretched that wide. Girl, you know what I mean? It's just
Girl,
start
what
making
size
you
shoe is
think.
that? Is that a 13?
Yeah, it's like exactly. Oh, the flip-flops, the Tory Burch flip-flops. I'm like, if you don't throw those away, because we stopped doing those in, early 2000s. So I'm gonna need those to stop for sure. So yeah, we went down a road, but I felt like Potomac really tried this year. It really, really did.
You sound like Stacey when she was giving her opinion on Ashley's singing at that G&E event. She put forth such an effort. That was probably my favorite part of the season, was that one clip right there. The way I died. But she was like, she put forth an effort.
Such an effort.
Such an effort.
Yes. So what do you guys think about Potomac? We do not want to die here because we got so much to cover.
I'm like, yeah, it was okay. We'll get into the reunion in a bit. I thought Mia just brought down the class level. Like, I've never seen Essence magazine come for anybody in the reality TV space. Ever. And the fact that they did an op-ed of like kind of how classless she's been and distasteful with this whole thing with her kids and the husband and the boyfriend. Like, it's girl
and the girlfriend right now. And the girlfriend. Yeah. And you have your husband, your boyfriend, and your girlfriend on the same show. Yes, for sure.
Hot ass mess.
Yeah, beyond.
Like, as far as the new ladies, I think Stacey was such a good value add.
Oh, me too.
I think in Karen's mind, she's Stacey.
Yeah. I know. It took me a second. I'm like, I know exactly what you mean.
When you
said who they can get rid of for me for next season. What's JC?
I think
they got rid of her.
I think those two, because when you said, I think the new girls were an addition, those were the first two that dropped into my mind, like Kay and JC. And I'm just like, no, they weren't. But you were talking about, I literally forgot about them. You were talking about Stacey, which I do think absolutely. But the other two, like Kay and her man, I was like,
she's not a wife. Has she ever been married? Don't know.
He don't want to be a part of it. It's just kind of boring. Like, she's sweet, but
she's the best thing he could get. Let's be honest. Unless his pockets are really fat. And I looked at the house while they were filming it. I think she's the best he can get. He should be grateful.
I'm ready for Candace to come back.
I think she'll come back.
I think it would be a good addition
to be continued.
To bring her back, to be continued.
To be with Giselle. Okay, we will pick up.
Yeah, let's, because we have so much. So speaking of Potomac, the huge news that came out yesterday, the Grande Dame herself was sentenced yesterday to 2 years with 1 year being probation. So she's already been taken into custody for her DUI case from the summer. And she is going to serve 1 year in prison. What do you guys think about that?
I was shocked. I think the day before that came out, my mouth was still on the floor from this is her fourth.
Four.
My mouth was like, what? And I don't think I fully comprehend, or it just didn't catch up yet, that, you're really about to go to jail. Like, there is no more, like, why didn't you go to jail for the third time? That was your saving grace, like. So
and that's what I think about, like, all the people who are like, oh my gosh, this is only happening. They're making an example out of her because she's a reality star. It's like, no, it's because 3 other times they let her slide. Bitch, do you need to wrap a car around another pole and take someone out before you wake up? Like,
and not only that,
this is time number 4. You're going to jail.
Look at the damage she did.
Yeah.
This wasn't the first time. You know what I mean? Like, that's something to really think about. Like, you did some hardcore damage to your 2017 Maserati. Some damage.
Yes. But she was incredibly lucky, because had she come into contact with a person and killed that person, then it's manslaughter. And then you're looking at serious time.
Yeah, and it's the fact that
it could have been way worse. Like, if I was her, I would take it on the chin. Hope your man don't cheat while you
Where is Ray going? Where is he?
Who is he giving his baby powder to?
You would be surprised how many women will come out of the woodwork, or he might. Anyway, I hope there's still love after lockdown.
Okay,
the 2 of them.
Okay.
I think for me,
but seriously, just hope for that, and just do your 1 year. Time flies when you're having fun.
Girl.
So moving right along, because I'm pretty sure the Potomac and the caring of it all, it's not gonna die.
I'm disappointed because we didn't even get to have the cameras rolling and like get her prepared to go to jail.
Oh, that was planned. That's why she didn't show up to the reunion. Like, I think, Tiana, I think you maybe said it best. It's like, because she quit the show. Or did she quit the show because she knew she was going to jail?
I mean, she knew she was going to jail. She just didn't know how long.
She quit the show because she never wanted to have to answer to calling herself Thomas Jefferson's concubine.
But I think depending on the bag, she would have came back and let them film her getting ready to go to prison, and she could be fabulous before that. And walk on in.
But the check,
I think she should have tried to cash in on some Bravo specials and whatever else she could cash in on.
Yeah,
because I don't know what Papa Ray is bringing in these days. So
also, I don't know if they'll let her be on Ozempic in prison. You think they'll let her be on Ozempic still? Because I think she's on Ozempic or Wegovy or one of the semaglutides.
No, I don't think so. But that should be the least of her worries.
For sure.
But I was looking to see when did she
Not
report,
really,
and then I saw they took her already.
Sodium.
Oh, I think she should try to cash in on a Bravo special or two. I was surprised that they took her in immediately. Like normally when these Bravo stars get sentenced or
like you have
jail time,
X amount of days to turn yourself in.
Yeah, like okay, you're going to turn in. Like Jen Shaw had like a couple weeks or a month or something like that. Teresa had time.
She completely offended the judge. It's her fourth DUI. She went to a wellness center instead of a treatment center.
She went to a resort.
They had wine tastings and massages.
I don't know if there's a Rehab Association of America, but if there is, I would speak out.
Decertify them.
Yeah, like wine tastings.
I don't think she went to a rehab. I think she went to a wellness spa. And so they're going to have wine at wellness spa. Like most of the people go there, they ain't in trouble for anything.
Yeah, they're
on vacation.
She went to a retreat in Arizona. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's a retreat. A retreat and a rehab are two completely different things.
And even in her message that she gave to the court, she says that, the issue is mixing alcohol with medication. I should never have alcohol with medication. It's like, girl, come on now.
Right? Okay, guys, we've got
so much more.
It's been a while. I get it, but RHONY, let's get
okay. Final thoughts on RHONY.
Bryn bye. That's what I got to say. Bryn bye. Like, just I
think she's a troubled soul.
Beyond and lacks self-awareness, lacks the fact that this you don't even know. It's like you say you like being the shitster or carpal tunnel or whatever that line was, but you really don't understand like the havoc you're really causing. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was disgusting to watch. And it never died down. It just, it was like one thing started, another thing started, another thing started, another thing started. We saw that Rebecca Minkoff isn't coming back.
Makes sense.
Thank God.
Once she didn't want to talk about Scientology, I said,
why are you here?
She wasn't allowed to talk about Scientology. Is that what you really mean? Like she cannot talk about Scientology?
Christina, don't make those people come for us.
I'm like, are they listening?
Moving on. Next cast member.
Yes. And then, I mean, before we get to the Puerto Rico of it all, was there anything else? Like, I feel like no one else was really giving. Like, I feel like Jenna wasn't.
You don't feel like the pranks were giving?
No.
I hated that. I just, the housewives were not good enough at producing to be producing the show. And that's what they've been trying to do all season long. It fell flat. And I will say the entire season, Bryn was just doing one misstep after another. Although I do, with the whole thing that really blew up in Puerto Rico, I kind of understand what happened. I don't think she meant to lie and say that Uba, heard her divulge her sexual assault when she hadn't. And I think in her mind, Uba did know because she mentioned it, but I could see why Uba, there was so much going on that she missed it. So I think two things can be true. But what I do think was absolutely disgusting to me, the most offensive thing was her making up that complete lie about Jessel and her true love that she had, like, just totally made up. Like, when in the reunion, when they were talking about like that, I was like, wait, what? That conversation never happened. Oh, Bren, you are a sick puppy. And it's more than just, I remembered, oh, I must have remembered the details a little different. Like, no, you created a whole fairy tale in your head. And I think it's just because she's just a very damaged soul.
The way she brought it up on camera. And I'm like it really happened. It's just like, and I was like, you took the time to bring it up, and here you are talking about the reunion, and it's like it never went down like that. That's the sick part. But there's one also
weird thing to like make up about somebody.
Yeah, so it's very unfortunate that we saw that. I think after filming wrap that Erin lost her dad.
Yeah.
To lung cancer, right? But she was like, it was his second time. This is so wild to me. It was his second time. He got cured of it and thought he was cured and went back to smoking.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I missed that part.
And I was like,
cigarette. It's just such a difficult thing to kick. Just a lot of people are not successful at doing it.
Definitely when I saw that or like heard that, I was like, oh, my heart really went out to her. And then we saw her, she was responsible for bringing mezcal to, the United States.
Thank God she discovered it.
Yes,
Thank God for Erin and her husband.
Yes. I haven't seen it on any shelves though.
What is the brand?
Yes.
I know. I was like, if I walked right by it, wouldn't know what it was. Can you please share with the class?
Maybe it's
what is it called exactly?
Whole category. Maybe she gets a cut of every SKU that enters that category because she's responsible for bringing it to the.
Well, she should copyright it if this was her creation and invention and discovery. So absolutely.
Yes, I think we also too really quick before we wrap, get into the Uba of it all. I don't know what it is or was, but is it a sense of entitlement, or did the show help perpetuate this ego? Like a lot of I'm too good for this.
It's three things. It's the show, sure. I also think it's her upbringing, right? Like thinking about where she grew up, the country that she's come from. I think she feels as if she's entitled to certain things now because she may not have had access to it in the past, right? But I think the third and most important thing is this new, extremely wealthy boyfriend who has a part-time home in Connecticut that he lives full-time in.
So she moved in with him. I remember saying that. I'm like, okay, so is this going to be like Mia, who they say live in Atlanta, and she sits in the back of the plane, and we'll get to that. Well, Uba will be flying back or driving back.
I'll say
she basically won't really be living in New York.
I think most New Yorkers that are like kind of old money, they love a home in Connecticut for whatever reason.
Got it. Okay. To be continued. We'll see what happens because you also know that the casting was held online, as we saw in our chat. There was a lot of
Oh yeah.
Wow. Like on Instagram, like be a New York housewife kind of thing. So
well, time to get back in their casting bag.
Oh, absolutely.
And give us a good actual season. But Tiana, that's a good point about what changed with her with the boyfriend, because I'm like, I don't remember her annoying me this much in the first season. But boy, did she this year. And I found her behavior in Puerto Rico to be so vile, so like just disgusting.
Though.
The beach, I'll give it up.
Like, yes, just so rude to it's like, come on. Like Raquel is like literally right here, and you're just like totally talking shit about the country and the people. Like, just Lord knows, I've been in places sometimes where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to sit down. But you don't want to offend people and actually like say that out loud and like have that on your face. Like, have a little bit of class, Uba.
Uba, if you're listening, we love you. Heart.
Yes.
Come on,
love you.
Heart.
Listen, she said, "Fuck that shit." Do you know what I've been through? And same. I'll be honest. Maybe would have tried to have a touch of a different approach, but bitch, I'm not going on this beach. This is gross. And that's no shade to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say in her defense. It was just like the pigeon. I was like, Oh, and the
I just think
underlying,
you're already there and you're on camera and you're
yeah.
this girl like put all these activities together. Like, just suck it up. I'm not saying you have to gush and say it's the most beautiful place you've ever been, but you don't need to be negative Nancy. Like, I just think that's bad manners. And the size of the room was too small. It was just like everything that like
Oh, that was
just
like,
too much of the diva card.
yeah.
And I just like being around those kind of people. I've always found those kind of people to be exhausting. And I found her behavior to be exhausting on that. Love her. Would love
Yeah.
for her to come on the show. But I, wasn't a big fan
Yeah.
of that.
Okay,
But
we
yeah,
can't
we got to
stop
move on.
there. This
Oh,
train is
Um,
moving, and we're moving on to
Salt Lake City.
oh yeah.
Final thoughts on that. Boy,
just saying this
is
shit was
Salt
the
Lake
best
City doing the
season
Lord's
ever.
work.
What'd you say, Tiana?
Best season ever.
Oh,
Yes.
it's so much. I think
Best franchise of them all. I'm gonna say it. They
yeah,
win.
I think MVP, for sure. Mary Crosby.
She showed up this season.
She did, and I felt like the conversation she had with her son was so honest. So, like she really kind of like got like, this like huge recognition. Andy was like, wow, that's so profound. Like everyone was just like really like Mary supporter. But when I saw it just as a viewer, I was like touched. I was like, oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
is not only is it good television, but it's just like this is what reality should be. Cause I feel
Mhm.
when we get on the like after the third or fourth season, they get housewives training, they get PR
Yeah.
training, they get like etiquette, how to handle yourself in front of a camera, and they're just too aware. So then it's like you're just a polished version of what you think should be in front of the camera. And I felt like all of that.
That was, by the way, the problem with New York. I think they got there by season 2.
And I also think part of that issue was Bryn causing fights with everybody.
Mhm.
Yes. Like just unnecessarily. But
But back to Salt Lake, I agree with you, Christina. That's like, yeah, like you're 100% on target with that. And it's like, when we had a few years ago with the Jen Shaw stuff, and then we had the Monica, like the Jen Shaw thing, like lasted, I think, about 2 seasons. Then we had Monica. That it's like, you know what? It's this many years in a row. Can we just go ahead and give these people the title? Because Salt Lake has been delivering.
yes. And then we had Bronwyn, our newest addition. We had Brittany.
Yes.
Oh, we had Brittany's high body count hair.
Yeah, I was like, we had
I need her to come back.
Brittany's jump offs.
Yeah.
I need her to come back.
Actually.
I need Bronwyn to come back. Like
Yes.
A+ for your debut season, Bronwyn.
Oh, absolutely.
These ladies, Salt Lake delivered. They left no crumbs. They owe me nothing as a Bravo viewer.
Absolutely. And then Angie too, which I thought like when Angie was first a friend and they like gave her snowflake, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this one. But
yeah, me
I
too.
feel like, but I feel like in order to be a really good housewife, you have to have the housewife elements. And I feel like this is why some of them, we're not going to name any names, but if we were, but we're not, I feel like some of them don't really land that well because they don't they're on the Bethany track. You know what I mean?
They're on the come up.
Yeah, I need this show to make me, I wasn't already made before I came to it. Like, I think Brock could like leave it no problem and never look back. You know what I mean? Like Vanderpump, that was just like the biggest kind of like housewife exit. Like, I don't need this. Goodbye. Like, or moving. So I think that's kind of what really adds to it as well. And every single one of them are at that like level of, housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that franchise, they got it right with that one.
It's something in Utah. What can I say? It might be something in Utah.
Right. Okay. Where
okay, so sorry, because I know we still have a lot more to get into, but just one, I'm gonna just go into one other like major.
There's so many that are there's so many.
There's so many, but we have to bring up the fact that Paige and Craig broke up.
Okay, I was hoping you go with this one. I was hoping
Yes.
because as you guys all know, I was Team Craig and I'm still am Team Craig. I
Mhm.
feel like now that her cast, now the show, we're like what, 2 or 3 episodes into Summer House. Her cast
Mhm.
coming out hard, really defending her. Carl just came out today in Us Weekly saying Craig really caused a lot of drama with all of us with filming. We had Watch What Happens Live, Lindsay on there, and Sierra defending Paige. I get it. You guys are defending
Yeah,
her.
that's their girl.
Right. But before that, I was like, wow, like the way it was done. And then we see her with the VP. I don't know what he does, but he's something related to football. They're like holding hands. I was like, okay, little, this don't look that great. And it's really allowing Craig to be looked at as the one who was shitted on in
Mhm.
this exit.
Yeah.
Then I've got to say, because I'm all about women on their ish. Her and Hannah just got announced for hosting the Vanity Fair party.
I
Really?
didn't hear that.
Yes.
More
Yeah,
ish of
I
the
need to
week.
fix that face.
Really?
You know
Yes, and
what?
I'm
I
like,
love to see it. Love to
yes,
see it.
yes.
Get it.
And it was
Something to see.
their Tiana, shut up. And their podcast is on a 60 60 state like tour stop. I don't know the right terminology, whatever.
Love it.
But like 60 cents, I'm just like, okay, bad bitch. I see you.
Yeah. Yes.
I see you getting that bag, you're securing it. And I mean, now it's like okay, I have a different lens on. I still love
Mhm.
Craig. I'm still very Team Craig, but it's just like you want not something more or better, just want something different. Craig lives in the South. You are on
She's just
your
very
grind.
calculating. I think at the time it was convenient for her, an opportunity for her to pop into a different show when her show's
Mhm.
not filming.
I totally disagree because honestly, watching this season of Summer House, if this bitch comes back next year, I'm just like, okay, then you're are dispelling my myth about you. Like you use this as leverage to kind of level up. You've done that. Let
Yeah,
this go because right now,
she let the
Yeah.
relationship go. She'll probably let the show go.
and I think also too, like Bravo in general, like we see like with Hannah, she's just fine with no Bravo. And I think when you can do that, don't become a lifer, as Jeff Lewis says, because the
Mhm.
lifers, that ain't cute.
No.
I'm naming names, but I really want to name a name right now, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's time. I also think that she has outgrown Summer House. Sierra's
Oh,
almost there
very.
herself.
Even
Lindsay
Lindsay on
Lindsay got
situation
no
I'm like,
has
fucking business
outgrown
being
it.
on Summer
yeah,
House. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go
yeah.
home
I
to your
think
baby.
Carl, there's nothing more to say. Like several
Every-
of them, like it's time to, get some new blood, new energy.
Bravo hates new
Um,
blood, and I just don't know why.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's because it's changed because it's like this formula has worked. You don't know if the new is going to work. It's like you need some innovators behind the scenes to forward think that a little bit. But that's the conversation for another day. So
Yeah.
where are we going now, Miss Ramona?
There has been a buzz about the casting for the next season of Real Housewives of
And
New
one of the lifers I
Jersey.
was talking about is on there, but I'm not going to say any names. So
One of the lifers, do you mean?
lifer.
So we know they are keeping
Is it
Teresa.
confirmed or is it still speculated?
There are a couple of reputable outlets who have said that it is confirmed that
Okay.
Dolores, Teresa, and Melissa are all coming back, but everybody else is dropped. But I'm Team Melissa, so I'm really I'm very excited about the prospect of her coming back. I love me some Dolo, so glad that she's coming back too.
I don't speak boy shit.